Today we're taking a look at the DBDRIVE WDX BE6 digital bass enhancer. We're gonna go over what it does, how to install it, and how to set it up. What the bass enhancer is primarily designed for is music such as 70s and 80s, corridos, banda, rock and roll, and even some older hip hop songs that lack that low end response that newer high excursion subwoofers really love. So what this unit does is analyze the higher end of the spectrum and recreate those notes one octave lower, and then you have bass in your 30, 40, 50 hertz range that previously was not there. Next up is the installation. First off, it would need some power. I like to use a flathead screwdriver to help this little jack out. Taking a look at the notations on the back of the unit, in the far left, you would want to put your power cord and then use a flathead screwdriver to tighten it into the little port. In the middle would be your remote wire, and the far right side is your negative or ground. Once you get the wires connected to this, you would just plug it into here. Next up, you would need to connect the RCA cables. At the moment, you probably have your head unit directly connected to your bass amplifier. What you would want to do is take the signal out of your bass amplifier and then put it under balanced input on the module. And then you can take another set of RCA cables and connect it from the output on the unit to the input on your amplifier. That way you'll get a full range signal from your head unit into the bass enhancer. It will do its magic, recreating the bass, and then send that modified signal to your bass amplifier, and then from there it'll send it to the subwoofers. The third and final step would be installing the effect remote. It comes with a telephone style cord, just like a regular bass knob. You would want to just click that into the back of the bass enhancer and then run the cord all the way to the front, and you can put the included effect knob next to your original amplifier's bass knob. First off, in the top left-hand corner, you have your Subsonic frequency selector switch. You can see that it goes from 35, 50, up to 80 hertz. This is gonna be where you control the frequency that you would like to start the roll-off of no longer getting effects. So if you're looking for the deepest, lowest bass possible, you could stay at 35 hertz and it'll play as low as 35 and then start rolling off frequencies below that. Next up would be the sweep. This would be the frequency that you would like to focus on the most as far as providing the bass enhancement effect. So if you want that super low 30, 40 hertz bass, you would keep it towards the very minimum. Although if you're looking to focus on a little bit of a higher frequency that your speakers may like better, you can start to dial this knob higher up until you get the desired sound that you're looking for. Next up would be the wide dial. The wide is how close to that frequency that you chose would you like to stay. If you keep it in the minimum zone, that would keep you very, very close to the frequency of choice. And then as you dial up into the higher end of the wide section, would take you further away. Our next three settings will be underneath the cover. So if you just get an Allen wrench and remove the 4 Allen keys from the top of it, and then you can open the cover. Just be cautious of the wires that go to the power light. What these jumpers do is change the amount of output voltage that the unit is sending, so they would go roughly based on the size of the speaker. The 2.5 would be for an 8-inch or bigger. The 5 is for a 10-inch or bigger sub. 7.5 is for a 12-inch or bigger. And the highest 10-volt setting would be for anything 15-inch and bigger. Of course, some systems are designed to play a little bit louder than others, so you can adjust this accordingly to get the sound that you're looking for. The second setting would be the balance and unbalanced pins down here in the bottom left corner. In 99% of the times, these can be left the way that they are, although in some cases, certain head units may search for a ground signal through the RCA cables. If this happens and is causing you troubles, you can move these to the balanced location and it will remedy that. Down here in the bottom right, we have the ground isolator circuit. What that's gonna be for is if you get any of that whining noise in your speakers that makes your car sound like it's a remote control car, what you can do is move this either to the left or to the right to get a better ground so you no longer get that whining sound. This was an overall look at how the bass enhancer works, how to install it, and how to set it up. If there was any further questions that you had, you can always head down to a local dealer and get some assistance, or feel free to reach out to our tech support line.